Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you in that group that make money, hopefully life-changing gains, because 90% of everyone investing in crypto lose money. And I want to get you in that group of successful investors. And it's videos like this that give you the alpha to hopefully allow you to make better decisions. Now, that being said, if you're doing extremely well, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're in that 90% group, watch this video because I'm going to give you a ton of alpha and we're going to talk about the smart money and how they are thinking and how they are reacting right now. The only way to become a whale is to understand how whales think. All right, guys, hit the like button. Let's dive into where we're at in the market right now because things look great. I can't be more bullish. And Bitcoin just made a new all-time high. Well, are we in altcoin season? Has it just kick-started? Where are we? That's what we're going to dive into. Okay, as you can see, everything across the board is up. There's not one token right now in the red. I haven't been online much today doing much research just because I've been trading and been extremely busy. But I can imagine the FOMO, don't miss out videos are coming out because this is the time when you tell people what they want to hear, it'll grow your channel. Well, that's not what we do here. I'm here for you guys. All right, here's what we have to talk about. Now, I just put out an alert in my trading group that I've been shorting Bitcoin. I've probably already put on maybe 7 different scalp shorts, and I believe we're going lower. However, I hope we keep going, but I believe we may have washed out most of the shorts, but that doesn't mean they're not going to take another run at it tonight, but I believe we're going lower. Now, hear me out, guys. Again, if everyone was right, if the majority were right, the majority would be rich. I'm still bullish, but we got to talk about what's going on in the big picture and take in some profits. Now, let's look at others. Others is basically pretty much whatever token you own, and it looks pretty good. I believe the bottom is in for altcoins. We may not go lower. The bottom was in probably about a month ago, month and a half ago. If you look at the last 3 months, guys, that's a pretty good uptrend. I believe the bottom was back here. Look at the last month. We're doing well. Look at the last week. That's pretty positive. And then obviously today it's going up. But as positive as that looks, to get into altcoin season, these things have to outperform Bitcoin. Well, I believe they are just following Bitcoin up right now because look at this. This is Bitcoin dominance for today. It's going up and up. Now, this wasn't on here just a few minutes while I was setting this up. That means a lot of people might be going back into the market. But that's common, guys. When Bitcoin takes off for these traders, especially the big traders that are using leverage, think about it. They just caught a couple of $1,000 move in Bitcoin on 50, 100x leverage. They got some profits. They're going to take them. And it's like, hey, why not jump back and manipulate one of the retails? And that's why I think you are seeing this. It's literally people immediately taking profits. All right. But look at this. When you look at others, all the altcoins against Bitcoin, nothing changed, guys. They're not moving. They're keeping pace or going down. I think they still may have some more down move. Now, I could be wrong, but I do not buy on green days. I sell on green days. I'm taking a handful of profits for some of my newer projects. I might close out my leverage trade on XRP today. I haven't decided, but I'm doing well with that one. And If you look, guys, we're already in the greed, and it won't be long. Maybe by the end of the day or tomorrow will be extreme greed. What do you do when everyone gets greedy? Yeah, take profits. Take a handful. All right, guys, this is why I made the video. Hopefully you're still with me. Hit that like button. All right. Now, I don't mean to insult anyone, but when you work on Wall Street or you're around what they call the smart money, that is a thing. It's been around for 200 years. There's smart money, and that's normally the insiders that really understand the manipulation, or they are the manipulators, right? Your exchanges, your whales, your hedge funds, your market makers, especially the market makers and the exchanges. They're the ones that are always seeking liquidity. See, guys, the smart money can manipulate any way, shape, or form. They can take the market up, even though they will be losing billions on the way up, or take it down and be losing billions, but they will make it up when they flip the script. Or they're losing a ton of money on the way up when they're manipulating it, but they have went long on leverage, and then they're buying the spot, and then when they decide to sell the spot, they will short and make money on the way down. So there's always a ton of manipulation. Now, let's talk about this chart. Okay. Now this is going to catch you off guard, but bear with me, and if it triggers you, rewind this until you stop getting triggered. If you don't understand it, rewind it, because this is crazy important. Because, guys, there's a flow, right? How is it that there's people making life-changing gains so far in this cycle, but 90% of the people have been wrecked? Well, they're on the wrong side of the flow. It's days like this that they're taking profits. Meanwhile, FOMO's kicking in to the dumb money. Now look at this, guys. This is what retail is doing. They are buying and buying and buying and buying. The blue line is called the smart money. They have been selling for the last couple of months. Now, I want you to look at this above. This is when the stock market crashed. Look how perfect the smart money immediately started selling, and they have not stopped. So think about it. They were buying this stretch right here, and they have been selling. Well, when you start seeing this discrepancy, retail keeps buying. And the smart money is not out of gas yet. It may go down. Hopefully, the further it goes, the better opportunity. Now, this is why this is important. I want you to look at something and think back, guys. And again, I say this with love. This is how you learn. If you are, you can learn the hard way, but some people don't want to learn the hard way. But I want you to go back pre-election. Most people had been wrecked because of the FOMO of January 24th, February, March. Everybody was doing well. And then boom, game over. And we went down for what? 5 straight months until the election. And then most people the day after the election and right when Trump got into office pretty much was all in. And if that was you, I want you to think about something, guys. You remember when the Dino tokens were ripping? Everybody's like, to the moon, Lambo. I sold my H bar. I sold my Algorand. I sold everything I had, and I went short over 375 times during that time. Now, hear me out. And most people gave back 50 to 80% of their gains on their Dino tokens and still holding. Hopefully, it comes back, and that wasn't their bull run for this cycle. But look at this, guys. Okay, this is pre-election back in September, right? This represents the equal to the chart I just showed you. This is the dumb money. They were buying pre-election, buying after the election, buying after Trump got into office. This is the smart money. That's what that chart represents I just showed you. The smart money was selling pre-election. People like me, I started leveraging out because I did not trust our election system. Yeah, bit me on the butt, but I'm okay. I didn't lose money, and I still did well. Yes, if I'd have went all in pre-election, and quite frankly, I had no doubt as far as Trump winning if there was a fair election, but I really did not trust our election, and I knew if I went in and spent my dry powder and Trump won, I knew I'd be happy, but I knew if Trump lost, I'd have been down like 35% right out of the gate, and I'm out of dry powder. Wasn't wasn't going to let that happen. The smart money did that, but now think about it. When the Dino tokens were pumping, the stock market was pumping, everything was pumping, FOMO was everywhere. The smart money was selling and selling, and when you went all in, they took their final profit. Then what happened? We crashed for what, 4 or 5 months until here the last month or so. They were buying, buying, buying. Meantime, retail was giving it up. Now look at this. In the last, since like April, look what's happening. The smart money already bought. Since April, in this little pump we've been having, they've been selling and selling and selling. We're at all-time highs in the stock market, Bitcoin, everything is ripping. They're taking profits. They're in the flow. And what is retail doing? Retail, the dumb money, again, said with love, are thinking about, should I go all in? I'm not going to miss it. Well, no, you're not going to miss it, in my opinion. Could I be wrong? But this chart, guys, you can go back in history. Very rarely do you want to go against that chart. But here's the thing. Once you get in the flow, the people selling right now, taking profits, yeah, you're going to leave some on the table. Who cares? Every time I take a handful, I got dry powder. But here's my point, and you have to hear me out on this. The smart money, if they've been selling and making all this profits, what do they do next? Well, they want to buy. They are going to flip the script. Maybe we go down more, which I believe the stock market has more room to run. Bitcoin has more room to run. Altcoins have more room to run. I'm not saying dump everything and expect lower tomorrow. Maybe they run it up tomorrow. It's run it up to the weekend, run it up all next week. I don't know, but eventually the smart money says, hey, let's dump it off. We need a new narrative. We need the market to come back, because when they run out of money, which they don't technically run out of money, but when they stop having profits to take, they want to flip the script, repeat. And I hope this makes sense to you. But they want to repeat the process. So they're going to get to some narrative, whether it's the war or tariffs or Trump, you know, text something out, and then the market capitulates and it pulls back. And guess what? This will flip. This red line will start going down. The dumb money will start getting scared and dumping. They'll start giving back all their profits. See, when you don't take profits, guys, you're exit liquidity. There's only so much profit out there. And then this will turn up, and that means smart money is buying. And then they'll cross again. So again, guys, I want to be clear. I think there's plenty of room to run. However, when it comes to Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin could try to get a little bit more of a short squeeze out of this, and we could go a little bit higher. But when I look at this, guys, the smart money, the market makers, and the exchanges right now are in this position. They're like, okay, we have washed out the short sellers, unlike the people like me. See, guys, I don't short when I think the market's going to go down. I short when the market is ripping, and I think people are going to take profits, and then it will reverse. See, I don't know where people got this idea that in a bull market you short when there's a breakdown, right? If Bitcoin drops from where it is right now, 113 to like 108, people will start going short. Are you out of your mind? you start buying. You missed it. You're short from the top, right? I'm not expecting it to collapse. But look at this, guys. If you're not familiar with this, you have to learn about this chart. These are the type charts that matter, because the ones that people show you and they sound so smart, well, if they were so smart, why are they not always right? Have you ever noticed how the TA people, what's going to go up, down, or sideways? Well, which is it? If it's so good, tell me. Well, see, the market makers are looking at that every day. And this is where they're at, literally. So imagine me standing there and I'm a market maker. And Bitcoin's making a new all-time high, and I just made an immense amount of money pushing out all the shorts. The shorts are gone for the most part. Well, now I got all this money. Well, why would I want to spend that money to take Bitcoin up? There's no liquidity up there. I make my money going up, down, sideways. The exchanges make their money up, down, and sideways. The exchange doesn't want you to catch a 5X and hold it. They want you to buy, take profits, or take a loss. Just move your money. That's all they care about. And then dumping on you when they sell their supply. But right now we're at over 113. And I'm looking, here's my choice. Take my big bag of money, because think about it, guys, I'm a manipulator. Market makers can manipulate the market. They get with the exchanges. It's a good old boys club. So we can sit there and go, okay, if we take Bitcoin on up, we take it all, let's say to 115, we can pull out 400 million, which it's not that much, but roughly 400 million of liquidity. Or we can take Bitcoin back to 110, something like that, and we can pull out 700 million of liquidity. Now we've already wrecked the shorts. Now let's go wreck the longs. And see, guys, that's why it's always so volatile. When you're on 100x leverage, the profit or the loss is immense, and people can't take the pain. And that's why when you draw all those charts and you go, oh, buy this little breakout, they're sitting there, the smart money is sitting there looking at that going, if you go take a class and you listen to these people that say they're experts in TA, here's what they're going to do. They know exactly where you're going to go long or go short, and exactly where you're going to put your stops. They don't even have to look at it. The chart tells them everything. They're like, okay, here's all the dumb money. I've got a big bag. I'm going to push it. I'm going to wreck them. So they just wrecked the shorts. Now they're going to go wreck the longs that can't handle Bitcoin going back to 110 or 111. So the odds are we're going to pull back, probably tonight. And maybe they do all this before you even see this video. But here's the point, guys. And if you need some help with your portfolio, we're going to talk about how I may be able to help you. But here's the point of where I'm at. I'm extremely bullish. The stock market is overbought. Bitcoin is running. The volume is not immense for the stock market, and there's still a lot of uncertainty. And now we just had the job market numbers, or the employment numbers. Everything is looking strong. We got the CPI numbers coming out. And guys, who knows what's going to happen? It doesn't take anything to move these markets back down. But here's the thing, guys. I believe that the stock market in the rest of this year, and definitely throughout 2026, is going to rip. But they are not going to start stacking the smart money, the ones on this chart, these guys right here. They are not going to start buying at the top. That's insane. That's why they call it dumb money. You buy low, you sell high. The market is making a new all-time high across the board. They're taking profits. See, most people go, oh my God, the stock market's going up. The whales are really doubling down. The hell they are. They're selling. Retail's getting all FOMO. That's the dumb money. You got to understand that, guys. I say that with love. That being said, if you need some help with your portfolio, someone to look at it, someone to guide you, help you get a strategy in place, whether it's taking profits, how to compare, understanding tokenomics, understanding market cap, which I hear all the lies about that constantly. People are out of their mind. It's not debatable of whether tokenomics or market cap matters. I used to be a licensed 3 futures and options trader. I was a commodity trader, right? Traded foreign currencies, coffee, sugar, cocoa. Cryptos are more like commodities. They're not stocks, but they're also, when you compare them to commodities, it's still supply and demand. And most of these cryptos have an immense amount of supply, so they're already way overvalued, no matter what the tribal leaders tell you across the board. Most projects, the demand will never catch the supply. Like when you talk about a supply shock coming for Bitcoin, it's coming. But Bitcoin has, what, 21 million tokens, and it's really probably more like 18 million for all the ones that got lost and stuff like that, as opposed to 100 billion. Some of these have trillions, some of these meme coins, right? If you got 100 billion tokens, I promise you the demand is never, ever going to catch the supply, at least in the next 10 years. And who cares after that? I highly recommend you invest bull run, bull run. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. Guys, I have Zoom calls. I have a coaching course for your portfolio, has 18 different videos, walks you through everything to get a strategy and a game plan. And then I take a look at your portfolio with you and I help you get that game plan. I also have a shorting course, which, guys, I don't care what anyone says, shorting is the best and most consistent way to make money in crypto. Everyone needs to learn. And I have a new inner circle. So if you need some help, I'll leave a link down below and I'll pin it in the comment section. Reach out. That being said, guys, whether you take me up on that or not, do yourself a favor. Take profits along the way, or you're going to become the prophets. And just let me give you some free alpha that's really helped me, because I was in the same camp, especially in the bear market. If you put in $10,000, for example, in crypto, and you're at 3,000, and let's just say hypothetically today you're at 6. Well, that's 3,000 you didn't have yesterday. And the odds are, whether it's tomorrow, this afternoon, next week, you may go to 7, but the odds are you're probably coming back toward that 3. If we're lucky, it only goes back down and now you have 4. But either way, guys, that's a handful you could have taken. Now, a lot of people go, well, why would I do that? Well, now you got dry powder. And if you just think back, no matter who you are, think back if every time in this cycle, or if you've been around longer, your whole life, every time the FOMO kicked in and you started going, yes, my portfolio's doing good, here we go, it failed. You could have grabbed it. What would have happened if you'd just grabbed a handful? I'm not telling you to wipe out your entire portfolio, but every time a token's up 75%, well, you just grab a handful, a little bit. If it doubles and triples, take your initial investment out. It'll serve you well. And then you always have dry powder to buy these new hot projects, these new hot meme coins. And it's the market's money. All right, guys, if you like this, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But either way, guys, come back, be part of this community, subscribe. I can't be more bullish, and I'm going to keep bringing you the smart money alpha, because we're going to get you in that 10% club. All right, guys.